Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. How many of you have already gotten fooled by an April Fool's post or joke or something along those lines? Well, I hope not many of you. I had a couple I saw on Facebook earlier today, and I was like, this is it. And some of us are going to fall victim to it. Some of us are going to laugh, and some of us are probably going to get a little upset. But that is what's fun about this time of the year. April 1st, the one day we get to be a little goofy and, play tricks on our friends that are gullible. But anyway, I hope you're doing well on this Wednesday, this hump day. I'm CJ LeMaster, your lead investigative reporter and your host for this digital news desk update. We really appreciate you joining us today. First off, and I want to thank everybody for watching right now on our YouTube and Facebook live streams, also our OTT platforms. Thank you for joining us and taking time to talk with us today. I was in federal court this morning because of updates in the Jackson bribery scandal. The judge in the case has ruled now that the trial will not be moved to Gulfport. It will take place right here in the capital city. U.S. District Judge Daniel Jordan said he still hasn't decided whether the jury should be from this area, a statewide pool, or another federal court district in the state. But of course, this decision comes amid concerns over extensive media coverage and its impact on finding a fair and impartial jury. Much of today's hearing focused on exactly that, how to seat an unbiased jury. Now, Hinds County District Attorney Jody Owens, former Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba, and former City Councilman Aaron Banks are charged for their alleged roles in a bogus effort to build a convention center hotel in downtown Jackson. Trial is still scheduled for July. Sheriff deputies in Hinds County continue to investigate the deaths of two 16-year-olds whose bodies were found Monday on a rural road. Now, the Sheriff Tyree Jones believes the two victims, both students at Lanier Junior Senior High School, were taken to that area together. The bodies of Teddy Burrell Jr. and Chloe Hudson were found around noon Monday by sanitation workers making their rounds on South Springdale Road, west of Pocahontas. Both teens had been reported missing by JPD 24 hours before they were found with multiple gunshot wounds. The sheriff described the manner of death here as very concerning. He's urging anyone with information about what happened to come forward.
We need a motive. We need to know why this happened, and we need to know who is responsible for this incident. This does not appear to be a random act of violence.
Now, the Jackson Public School District says counselors are on site at Lanier to support grieving students and staff. The district also saying, in part, Jackson Public Schools is mourning the sudden passing of two scholars from Lanier Junior Senior High School. Our hearts are with their families, friends, and the entire school community. We stand together in support, compassion, and remembrance. A new water authority could soon be in charge of your drinking water. The controversial bill that creates the board now heads to the governor's desk. It has cleared the House and Senate, and of course, this new board would be in charge of setting your water rates, issuing bonds, making improvements to your water and sewer systems. Members of the board will consist of leaders from local cities and around the state, but the city of Jackson leaders here not happy with the makeup of the board. Now, the city wanted majority control. The board has 9 members. The city only has 3 seats. The members would conduct a rate study every 2 years. If a rate increase is not done during that time period, state law would require the board to raise your rates. A 2/3 vote would be needed to raise rates. Some lawmakers disagree with Jackson having majority control, saying the board should be unbiased and impartial.
Because as you know, anytime you have a majority, you're going to see what they call the 2/3 or 3/4, whatever it is, when you have one group of people that are always going to vote together. You're going to see loyalty where people are going to vote together because they're friends, because they have good relationships. But when you have a diverse group of people representing different areas, then you get a fair vote most of the time.
When it comes to majority control, that should always be within the city of Jackson. They're the ones who own it. They're the ones who own the system. They're the ones 89% pays into the system. It's just wrong if they don't have that. It doesn't make sense.
Now, again, right now, Ted Hennepin, the interim third-party manager, runs the water system. The board would take over once he leaves. Now, Hennefin's in favor of the Water Authority Board, saying we stand ready to support a smooth transition. And as always, we look to Judge Wingate for direction on how any transition is carried out within the framework of the existing court order. Now, one thing to point out here, the city of Jackson is not required to enter into a lease agreement with the Water Authority. If the city chooses not to do so, that means this board established by the legislature would not be able to do anything, making it ineffective. Once the bill is signed into law, the board members must be appointed by May 1st. And the legislative session, of course, winding down this year at the state capitol. The change to the state's child care budget could affect you and your family. House Bill 1909, the Department of Human Services budget, strips $15 million in child care certificates from next year's spending plan. Those certificates help families afford licensed child care. Some lawmakers say the cut could force centers to close and push more than 2,000 children off their current programs.
So many of us in the House chamber, we got our start in child care centers. We got our start with Head Start. We got our start with preschools, with Earning, Learning, Collaborative. So when we understand that, that's why it is such a unfortunate situation to not see that $15 million added back into the budget.
Now, again, the bill has cleared both chambers. It now heads to the governor. The new fiscal year begins July 1st. That's all the time we have for this edition of the WLBT Plus Digital News Desk Update on your Wednesday. Everybody's been mighty quiet today, but hopefully we'll get plenty of comments tomorrow. Once again, I'm CJ LeMaster, your lead investigative reporter and your host for the Digital News Desk Update each weekday at 1 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. And don't forget, First Alert Weather Team is going to be in here at 2:30 to tell you what your weekend looks like. We've got the potential for rain in the future. And, of course, our early evening newscasts begin at 4 p.m. on air and online. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.